Hi guys, and welcome back to another week and another project for e-learning. Great job on getting those nature drawings, nature sculptures done last week. I liked the submissions that I saw. You guys did a really awesome job on those. If you did not get those done yet, please get them to me as soon as possible. I'm hoping that you find this next assignment to be a combo of maybe everything that we've done so far. I'm trying to do a lot more kind of sculpture projects with you guys, being that it's a little bit harder for me to interact with you in person in order to build your skills in terms of drawing. So I'm trying to kind of combine a few different things to really spark everybody's interest and allow you to feel confident about the work you're producing. So I put together this Google Slides presentation. Same as always, I'll make sure to attach this to the assignment so that you can refer back to any of the images or the information that I kind of go through here. But it is called an interactive object drawing. So in these photos here, I hope you can see that there are some outside objects, some random everyday objects that maybe you find around your house. And there is a doodle that is kind of done in order to make those objects pretty much transform into something else. So this first image, obviously an orange slice isn't a parachute, but that was the creative route that this artist chose to go. The second one, very similar, a bundle of grapes being used as some balloons that this young boy is kind of holding up. And then the last one, a battery being used as kind of a scuba tank. So hopefully, as I go through this, you're getting some ideas. And as always, I do like to show a lot of images to hopefully get your brain kind of flowing in the right direction. So Victor Nunez is the artist that we're going to be inspired by for this project. He is a 63-year-old retired art director from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I did attach his Instagram up at the top there. He does a lot of doodles that include specifically faces and animals. I'm not requiring you guys to take that route, but it is very interesting. A lot of his images will look very similar to this one right here, where he takes an object and he places it all over a piece of paper. And then he creates, quite a few doodles showcasing how that object can be transformed into different things. So for example, up here, you've got this piece of popcorn as the elephant's head. Here, it's a gentleman walking a dog. This one right here, it's kind of hard to see, but it's a flower attached to a stem and some petals. So basically what he's doing is he combines these everyday simple objects with illustrations in order to turn them into these pictures of faces, animals, these playful scenes that pretty much invites us to look at these objects differently. So it allows a viewer, it allows an artist to find creative images in their surroundings. So I remember in college, I had to take a class, it was a photography class, and our assignment one week was pretty much to go around and take photos of faces. Now, it can't be a face like a person, but looking at objects in order to find a face in the object. So, for example, your stove in your house, if it has those little knobs, those can be seen as eyes, and maybe the handle on the front can be seen as a mouth. So that was an example of a face that I could have taken a photograph of. Cars have faces on the front of them. That is unrelated to this project, but it reminds me of how we have to look at objects in the world and how they can spark our interest and kind of remind us of different things. So as you can see in this image here, he does that with a lot of different elements, and he really brings these doodles to life with giving them different personalities in a way. In his in the research that I was doing of him, I found out that he actually has a book that is kind of like a sketchbook type thing. If you guys are interested, you can probably just Google it. But pretty much each page of the book is an image of a different object repeated a bunch of times, just like here. And he's kind of inviting and almost challenging whoever's reading this book to go through and turn these objects into something else. So for your project, I've tried to simplify this as much as possible so you guys can hopefully get an idea for a way to approach this. The project is, first off, choose an object. I recommend starting with choosing the object first rather than starting with the drawing and then working backward. So I would choose the object first, then think about how this object can be utilized in a drawing. So what does its shape remind you of? Does it have kind of a long base that reminds you of a surfboard or a skateboard or something that has kind of a longer base on it? Think outside of the box here. Get as kind of wacky and creative with this as you want. I'm really excited to see what you guys turn in for me. I've seen quite a few really awesome images online with different art teachers that I follow on Instagram. So please make sure that the work is your own and you're not just kind of copying an image online, because I will be able to tell. But anyway, lay this object down on your paper and begin to create your doodle. So have your piece of paper in front of you, have your object, put the object down and kind of draw around it. Obviously, once you get the basics in, you can remove your object out of the way so it's not in your drawing space, but really put that object on your drawing to really help you kind of really get your brain thinking that that object is what you're intending it to be. Fourth, coloring is not required, but if you aren't coloring, please try to include as much detail as possible in order to receive full credit. Some of the examples I show you are very simple, so try to think of ways, kind of don't use those as a great example, just use the creativity there as the example, but try to really push yourself to include as much detail as possible. So your drawing should look like you've spent more than 10 minutes on it. Remember, these assignments should last you through the whole week. So take some time on it and really don't just kind of quickly put something together for me. Take some time on it. Once your drawing is complete, please write your name on it so it's visible when you take your photo. This is another way for me to make sure that it is your original artwork. And then lastly, take a photo of your interactive object drawing. Make sure the object's in your drawing and then upload it right onto Google Classroom. So I included this photo here that I found. I thought this was a great example to show you how the kind of tutu skirt can be mimicked with this hair scrunchie. Now, this artist looked like they may have drawn the entire image first, put the scrunchie on top. I recommend just putting your object in place and drawing around it. But I think this is a great way to show you how an idea can be transformed based on that specific found object. Here are quite a few examples that I found online. Again, more simple, but there's definitely ways that you guys can come up with an object, add a lot of details. Maybe you have kind of an entire scene going on where, we can see some background elements happening. Think about how you can create an object, make it part of a drawing, and then really elevate your work so that it looks like a project and not just a quickly done sketch. Feel free to go back and look at these images a little bit more, but notice how objects are being inputted into each of these drawings. And this last page, this is another one of Victor Nunez's work. Again, this one is quite simple. So if you were to go at a route similar to this one, how could you decorate the clothing? Could you put details on the sneakers? Could you show more of this boy's surroundings? Is he in a park? Is he on a street? Is he in his house? Think of ways that you can kind of elevate these drawings to be more than just a quick doodle, and add just some more elements to them. As always, if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to email me, comment on the Google Classroom, whatever it is. I hope you have fun with this one. I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff you guys produce for me. And I hope you have a great week. And I will see you next Tuesday, because we are off on Monday. I will see you next Tuesday with a new assignment. Bye, guys.